The title match between the WWF champion Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon. They show you some bits as well as they begin to change the way it's sort of, there's a decision made that they go, let's treat this more like a sport. And what you have is you see Bret Hart backstage getting ready for the match, and you see the actual gorilla position as you hear his music hit, and he's backstage waiting to go out to the ring, and you get to see that. It's sort of fascinating because you can see him sort of actively working out when the right moment to throw open those curtains is, and he doesn't seem to do it to the music, he does it with the noise of the crowd. And it was just fascinating to see those little bits. I'd forgotten that was happening at this period. Hart looks really great here as well, you know, and Razor also looks really great. He's at the start of a new run in the WWE. They've pushed him like a monster, and he's the first person in WWE who's like cocky since Rick Rude. He's just, it's such a fun thing to do. What do you have any sort of residing memories of this match? It slightly glosses around. I don't know why it's not very memorable.
I think the most memorable bits are the video and the VTs before the match actually gets started. You know, Razor Ramon just kicking the shit out of Owen.
That is
Hart,
great.
And it was just good to see Bret do some wrestling. I like the idea that Razor Ramon flicks his toothpick at the kid who's just received the spectacles from Bret. Really makes me laugh. It's just like, and the thing that's sort of like I kind of twigged a little bit that I'd never really thought of. The razors on his shorts, like he's got like, you know, loose razors drawn on his shorts and stuff. And I only just got the razor cocaine sort of connection.
Do you know,
I know he's like a Tony Montana sort of
as
figure.
you said, Pete, there, when you said, I saw the razors on his shorts, I thought, holy fuck. It's a reference to cocaine.
It must be,
until now, that has entirely passed me by. Yeah, that's what the razor is.
Dealer, yeah.
That's a surprising thing to make into an action figure for kids, isn't it?
It really, really is.
God,
yeah,
because he
very
doesn't use a razor. Yeah. He's got a toothpick. It's never crossed my mind what the razors relate to. But yeah, he's Tony Montana. He's
an import-export man.
He's a Miami, Florida drug dealer, like Billy Jack Haynes. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. God, that's actually hit me. How have I never noticed that before? It was funny because I do remember this at the time, and Razor Ramon was being pushed as what was happening at this period is because they're beginning to get rid of the old guard and look to the future, they're pushing people very, very quickly out of the gate who you've never heard of before. And so even though he was the diamond stud, and I was slightly aware that he'd had a quite rough couple of years of being crap, the WWE were just like, you're straight in the main event. In the old days, it would take you 4 or 5 years to get to the main event. And yet Razor Ramon has come in 1992 in sort of September time. And within 4 months, he's got a match for the WWF title. So it was a sort of weird thing where watching this when I was younger, I was a bit like, I know no one can beat him, but this seems too soon. I feel like everything's moving too quickly.
Yeah.
And then when he loses, traditionally, of course, that would have been your, say you were Bad News Brown, you'd have your series with Hulk Hogan, and then you'd slowly work yourself down the card. So it almost seemed at the time, I was like, well, how can he come back from this? This is all over. He even submits, which is a really decisive win for Bret Hart. In a weird trivia note, this is the last time he would win as a good guy using the sharpshooter on pay-per-view. He would only have one other match where he made someone submit to his sharpshooter. And after this, it's an odd thing because you do sort of think, you know, that's his big finishing move. It was a finishing move which clearly never worked. Only worked on 2 occasions. The next thing was much, much better. I really, really did enjoy this. And that was Bobby Heenan unveiling Narcissus.
The best thing ever, Mark. I love it.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was... Heenan is given the hardest thing in the world, which is going, make bodybuilding exciting. And Heenan is just like, I will take this in my stride. I will do it all day long. I will do it like I am the greatest hype man the world has ever seen. And what a performance he puts in. What a performance.
Oh, Mark. It really was incredible.
Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. Oh, look at the definition here. Look at the thighs. Look at that. You'll never see another set of legs like that. Oh, yes. Look at those biceps. Look at the size of them. Perfectly proportioned. There's not a humanoid in this building that don't wish they were in your shoes.
And the best thing, we've spoken about this before, Lex Luger is he's an ugly cunt.
Oh, he is.
His body is beautiful, but his face is very ugly. And maybe that plays in the whole kind of like, he's not that handsome, but he thinks he's all that and a packet of crisps and stuff. But you do sort of go, he needs a bit more in the old face. And they do, so they unveil this new wrestler that no one's ever heard of before, even though he's already been with the company for a while. So they do a big unveiling, and because he's a bit muscular, it's a bit auctiony. It's a bit who will buy my beautiful muscular boy?
But Heenan is really good because posing is boring, and so you need someone like Heenan actually bringing the entertainment to this piece. But Heenan is basically he's parroting what Vince McMahon wants him to do, which is talk about how sexually alluring this man must be to women. I don't think he's right.
No, and I think the whole kind of like, I'm a big muscle boy and I'm sexy and stuff. They always get like some lasses in weird, they're always wearing like ball gowns. They're never wearing the right clothes that you would wear for the wrestling, and they're always put
full
at the front of the
gloves.
crowd and swoon. Full swoon on. And you've got Heenan just sort of going, look at his back, look at the legs, and he refuses to say, look at his lovely arse. It's really proper WCW like crapness on this. I love it.
Steroid damaged cock. Look at his tiny balls that have shrunk back into his chest because he takes monkey glands. It's the sad thing about this, I find, is Heenan keeps saying Narcissus, and the screen has shown that the name has changed now to the Narcissist Lex Luger. Narcissus Lex Luger is a better name than the Narcissist. Nobody says the word Narcissist. And it should have just been Narcissus, you know. What's funny about this is, I mean, he comes out and he's wrapped in his baker foil gown as well that makes him look like a turkey. Everything's glistening like white turkey meat, and everything's gone repulsive. It's a boring thing to watch him pose. But the funny thing about this gimmick is it really, really limits what Lex Luger could have been. And at this point, they are getting rid of Hulk Hogan. And what they could have done is they could have brought him in as the evil Hulk Hogan. They could have just had him being, I am here to have a reign of terror. You know who I am. Look at this. Here's my muscles. Aren't I sexually alluring? I'm wearing no baker foil because I'm just in black trunks. And he could have been a huge, huge star. Instead of bringing him in as the biggest star in the history of the business, which, you know, they could easily have framed it in that way, they just bring him in as the new Rick the Model Martel. It's such a weird and bad decision. But Bobby Heenan, by the time he's got to the end of it, he's saying words that are accurate, but you've never heard of. So at one point he shouts, the most mesomorphically magnificent specimen. Just Jesus Christ, this guy, he's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And now as the curtain comes down, let's see some more. Just a little more. Look at the back. Look at the size of this man. Look at the legs. Please, let's see some more legs. One more shot of the legs. Please, one more time.
I won't have any trouble finding Mr. Perfect, who literally got creamed, and he will stoop at nothing to get any kind of an edge.
After Lex does his absolutely disgusting posing, really disgusting,
just disgusting,
they bring out Julius Caesar, a load of Las Vegas actors.
Of course they do. Yeah, I mean, this is the natural end to that particular episode. They just bring out Julius Caesar and Cleopatra.
In a funny way as well. It's really bad. It's really bad scheduling because they're all wearing sort of costumes a bit like Lex Luger's one, and so then they all come out, and you're like, oh, so there's just, you know, they're slightly better, if anything.
Was he part of that?
Yeah. Oh, are you like? Is Little Caesars? Is that at a pizza place?
He's like, Caesar's way more handsome than the Narcissist.
Oh, he is, and boy, oh boy, can he deliver a well-remembered couple of acting lines. That guy he must just be there at the front of Caesar's palace saying to big fat tourists, you know, welcome, enjoy the libations, you know, and they're like, oh, very nice. And he comes out and he just has a couple of lines to do about the upcoming WrestleMania, which is taking place at Caesar's Palace. It's a strange thing, but that thing of WWE liking that glamour that isn't glamour of, you know, Vegas and being sports and things. And he sort of says, all roads will not lead to Rome, but already confusing. All roads will not lead to Rome, but to the splendid, splendiferous Caesar's Palace. And then he does a big advert for it, just going, you know, your desires will be fulfilled. There is much succulent food. And it's all this. Now, he does a good job, but I was just thinking at no point does he say, but if you do want to come, you will have to purchase a ticket. It's just an open invitation from Caesar's Palace to say, come to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think legally they had no leg to stand on if people had said, I have been invited by Julius Caesar.
Friends, Romans, and countrymen, lend me your ears. Let it be known that I, Caesar, ruler of the Roman Empire, personally invite each and every one of you to WrestleMania 9.
I always think with those things, if you are dealing with a crowd who, are going to have a certain percentage of people who are a bit simple, I think it's a dangerous thing to have a man just go, I cordially invite you all to attend WrestleMania 9. And I bet there were some people outside going, but I got invited. There was simply
the scenes on my TV.
There were no mention of ticket. It was simply an invitation extended to me by a Roman gentleman.